So this is the lineup on the far side there for Germany. Jochen Urban and Andreas Penkner. And then for China, Zhang and Wang in lane 2. Here are the defending champions, Nathan Twaddle and George Bridgewater. And right next to them, their Aussie rivals, Drew Ginn and Duncan Free.
I just want to interrupt for a moment to say that Hacker has been loaded onto a stretcher and is being put into an ambulance. He obviously collapsed just before the medal ceremony.
Colin Smith and Tom James of Great Britain in 5, and Kevin Light and Malcolm Howard of Canada complete the lineup. So Canada closest to you, 2 from the bottom, Great Britain. Then Australia, Drew Ginn and Duncan Free. Then the world champions in picture now in lane 3, Nathan Twaddle and George Bridgewater. And then China and Germany on the far side. Well, winning news of Marcel Hacker as soon as we have it, but now to focus on the World Championship men's pair final.
Great Britain, Canada, attention.
Good start here by Drew Ginn and Duncan Free. Drew Ginn, of course, with James Tompkins, Olympic champion in 2004 at the Athens Olympic Regatta. But today, on their right-hand side, they've got the men in black from New Zealand, and a very, very quick start by Zhang and Wang from Shandong in China in lane number 2.
There we have it, the Chinese team again and again and again, beginning now to appear in World Championship A finals and to take medals. They've been on a roll, on a campaign, leading up to Beijing 2008. You can begin to see those plans reach the beginning of their maturity here. And once again, we have an excellent A-class final crew, open weight, Chinese crew, and they are leading here with the Australians in second place and Great Britain in lane 5. Colin Smith and Tom James in third place, just leading the world champions Bridgewater and Twaddle over in lane 3.
Chinese here, just youngsters. Zhang in the bow, 21 years of age. Wang in the stroke seat, just 23. So impotently leading the likes of Drew Ginn and Duncan Free, one of the terrific scullers. He was in the Olympics in the quad. But Duncan, in fact, this year winner of the diamonds at Henley? Or was it last year? It was last year.
Drysdale won the diamonds at Henley.
Sorry,
It was
last year.
I don't think he beat Drysdale in anything.
No, he did win it last year, though. I think it was 2005 he won it.
Olaf Tufte took him in, took Drysdale in the thing. But no, indeed, Free's a sculler and an oarsman. And some say that he's just standing in for Jimmy Tompkins, who will make a comeback. But maybe not. Let's see if he can get a medal or even win this here today, and that would help consolidate his claim for 2008.
Now, the Australians have found their rhythm. The New Zealanders are beginning to get into theirs. They both pecked back the Chinese. With on the far side, Germany, Jochen Urban and Andreas Penkner, who've been about sort of third-ish throughout all the World Cup regattas. So from lane 1, we need to keep an eye on them because they are a medal threat.
It is, they might be, but lane 1 tends to start quite fast in this course and find it a bit of a struggle further on. They're on the premises, but they're not, I would have thought, a gold medal potential crew out of this field. New Zealand, as with all the other New Zealand crews, wearing that cone in front of the bowman to ward off any splashes, so they obviously think the wind is rising. You can see the flags over on the far side standing out quite strongly. So they're taking steps to precautions against rough water in the last 1,000.
And out of picture in lane 5, Colin Smith and Tom James. Colin Smith, whose only criticism of his partner is the fact that he hails from Cambridge.
Well, he hails from Wrexham or somewhere, but he happens to be a student at Cambridge, and they are not going to make a medal here today, sadly, because they showed so well at Lucerne 5 weeks ago. But the fact is that James has been very sick a week ago, didn't think he could start the regatta, cruised through the heats, qualified through the repechage, just made it in the semi-final, but this is not their race and not their day. There's Duncan Free in picture with the immensely experienced 3 times Olympian Drew Ginn gold medals from
96
and not 2000.
But 2004, yes, most certainly, and World Championship golds from Richmond and Melbourne. Duncan Free from Hobart.
And New Zealand there, world champions, chopping a little bit in, not really drawing through their finishes. Bridgewater, big man, 6'8", 100 kilos, 105 kilos, lots of power, and you would want him to be rowing a slightly easier, slightly longer stroke. That's Nathan Twaddle on the right, nearest that cone, and George Bridgewater on the left of the New Zealand crew as we look at them.
Yeah, George Bridgewater from the Canaveron Rowing Club, Nathan Twaddle from the Auckland Rowing Club, and they're still very much in this. Remember, we're in the third quarter of the race now. Germany on the far side, Australia with a decent advantage. Australia, who were 135.70 for the second quarter. That was the same pace, incidentally, as Germany. So New Zealand have got to find a little bit as we come into the final 500 metres there. Chinese fading, understandably, and Great Britain right at the back here. So Australia, Germany and New Zealand, those are the three crews at the moment who are involved in the medals, and New Zealand have got to get a hurry on here in this last quarter if they want to retain their world title.
Well, that's why they've been rowing at over 40 strokes per minute for about 250 metres now, but it hasn't been making the impression. They've been pushing the Germans up in rate and at last are beginning to roll them over, but the Australians are staying relatively cool and doing less to stay in front, and should have something to withstand. Look at this charge from Bridgewater, 6'8" of him, and going at 41 strokes to the minute.
Coming down to 250 metres now. Still the Australians with a healthy advantage over New Zealand, who are just squeezing into.
New Zealand at 48 strokes to the minute then. That little burst when I was talking and saying they were at 41, they were at 48 at that stage. Australia looking across a bit anxiously. They don't want to make a mistake at this stage in this rough water, and New Zealand coming at an extraordinary rate. This is reminiscent of France in the 2000 Olympics when they rowed at 40 for 750 metres to come from 5th to 1st.
Past the giant screen on their right-hand side. They won't be looking at that. Australia was still half a length. Nathan Twaddle and George Bridgewater trying all they can, but Australia pulling it out a little bit on the near side here. Canada flying on the near side. Canada into the bronze medal position. Canada's Kevin Light and Malcolm Howard are going for bronze. Gold to Australia. New Zealand take the silver, and Canada on the near side keep the Chinese out of the bronze medal position. A fantastic burst by Canada. We'll get the time in a minute. We didn't see them coming. They're on the near side to us. We don't get a view of them until the last moment. Australia take their second gold medal of this first World Championship morning. It goes to Drew Ginn and Duncan Free, who take gold ahead of the New Zealanders. There they are, the defending champions, having to settle for silver, and Canada 133.27, China 133.91. But that was some charge by the Canadians at the bottom of your picture, and they snatched the bronze away from China.
They snatched the bronze away from China. New Zealand were 4 seconds adrift at 1,500 metres and took away 3 of those seconds, took them back from Australia, but it wasn't enough, and they were in fact the fastest over the last 500 at 132.92, with Canada just 0.25 of a second slower over that last 500, coming up into bronze medal position and, as you say, snatching it away from China. China will be back, and they will be more powerful next time. Germany and Great Britain, sadly, not in it today.